June 2008. Just before the collapse of Lehman Brothers in September 2008, as financial anxiety mounted. Adam Neumann, 29 years old, stood in a small office in Brooklyn. His business was a shared office space called Green Desk. But inside Neumann's mind, something else was swirling. This is too small. He stared out the window. Manhattan's skyscrapers loomed in the distance. 2009. Neumann left Green Desk behind. Reportedly, the business was sold to partners due to differences in management philosophy. But the truth was different. He harbored a bigger dream. That year, a fateful encounter occurred. Miguel McKelvey, a 35-year-old architect. The two met at a cafe in Manhattan. Neumann began sketching on a napkin. A social network for physical space. McKelvey's eyes lit up. February 2010. In Manhattan's Soho district on Grand Street, WeWork's first location was born. It wasn't just a shared office. Neumann called it a community. From Green Desk's environmental focus to a community-first vision. His vision had evolved. There were beer kegs. There was a yoga room. There was a rooftop terrace. Pricing varied by location and plan, but launched with a membership model starting at a few $100s per month. But they weren't just providing space. We're providing the meaning of life, Neumann said. Members were moved. This isn't just an office, it's family. 2011 to 2012. WeWork exploded in growth. 6 locations in New York City alone. Membership surpassed 3,000. But Neumann wasn't satisfied. He looked down at Manhattan from his office window. 6 locations. That was just the beginning. We'll build WeWork around the world. His lieutenant voiced concern. We need capital. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Neumann turned around. His eyes gleamed. We'll find investors, and we'll change the world. December 2014. WeWork's valuation reached $5 billion. That number caught one man's attention. Masayoshi's son, 57 years old, founder of SoftBank Group. Son was reading the materials. Key metrics like revenue were rapidly growing, attracting investor attention. His hand stopped. This isn't just a real estate business. Inside Son's mind, calculations began. What if WeWork expanded worldwide? What if the valuation grew tenfold? He made his decision. I'll meet Neumann. 2015 to 2016. WeWork crossed borders. London, Israel, China. WeWork was born around the world. By the end of 2016, locations exceeded 100. Neumann stood in the presentation room. Investors watched him intently. We're building a social network for physical space. His hand pointed to the world map. More than 100 red pins. This isn't a real estate business. We're a technology company. The investors nodded. In their eyes, they saw $10 billion in value. But at that moment, no one realized how this story would end. August 2017. The fateful meeting began. Masayoshi's son arrived at WeWork headquarters. Neumann spoke passionately, continuously. WeWork will change the world. We're building community. We is greater than I. Son listened silently. His eyes never left Neumann. And then, after the meeting, Son expressed strong interest. Subsequently, SoftBank proceeded with massive capital injections across multiple rounds from 2017 onward. Son's decision was instantaneous. But that encounter changed history. 2017 to 2018. WeWork expanded frantically. Valuation exceeded $20 billion. Locations multiplied rapidly. But beneath the numbers, something lurked. In 2018, WeWork recorded massive losses. Concerns about profitability intensified. Neumann stared at the financial reports. Red numbers danced across the pages. The CFO voiced concern. The pace of growth is too fast. Neumann closed the report. Profits will follow. Right now we expand. His voice held no hesitation, but his hand trembled slightly. January 2019. Masayoshi's son decided on further investment. WeWork's valuation reached $47 billion. That exceeded General Motors. But inside Son's mind, something stirred. He gazed at Tokyo's night skyline from his office window. Exposure, including SoftBank itself and funds, had expanded to over $10 billion. The CFO was reporting. WeWork's losses continue to expand. Son remained silent. Inside his mind, two choices clashed violently. Stop the investment, or bet even more. Son closed his eyes, and he made his decision. Rush the IPO. August 14, 2019. WeWork's IPO prospectus was released. It exposed the inner workings of a $47 billion company to broad daylight. Investors opened the prospectus, and they froze. Massive losses. Deficits far exceeding revenue. But that wasn't all. Neumann leased his own properties to WeWork. He sold the We trademark to WeWork for $5.9 million, later returned in full after criticism. He held a multi-class voting structure that gave founders extreme voting control. One investor spoke up. "This isn't a company, it's a kingdom," the Wall Street Journal reported. WeWork, abnormal corporate governance exposed. After the S1 release, investor sentiment deteriorated rapidly. The expected valuation reportedly dropped to around $10 billion. September 13, 2019. WeWork announced the postponement of its IPO. It was effectively a declaration of failure. Neumann was summoned to an emergency board meeting. He sat at the table. The directors' gazes focused on him. In their eyes was anger. A SoftBank representative spoke. "Adam, you crossed the line." Neumann remained silent. His hands trembled beneath the table. The media showed no mercy. The New York Times, chaos behind the charisma. Financial Times, the $47 billion illusion. Days before, he was the darling of his era. Now he was called a fraud. September 24, 2019. Neumann resigned as CEO, but the compensation was shocking. Initially, an exit package worth $1.7 billion was proposed. Shareholders were furious. Over $1 billion for the man who destroyed the company? SoftBank's shareholder meeting erupted. Masayoshi Son stood at the podium. Why pay such an amount to a failed executive? Shareholder outrage flew. Son answered, "It's a contractual obligation." But his voice lacked strength. Later, SoftBank refused payment, leading to litigation, with the final settlement substantially reduced. But the losses had already reached massive proportions. March 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic struck the world. For WeWork, it was a fatal blow. Offices emptied. Demand plummeted sharply, and location utilization deteriorated significantly. Neumann was gone. The remaining leadership faced a decision. In 2020, they announced large-scale layoffs. Reports indicated several thousand employees, representing a substantial percentage of the workforce at the time. Empty offices. Vanished dreams. A collapsed community. The company once valued at $47 billion now stood on the edge of collapse. October 2021. WeWork finally went public. But it wasn't a triumph. It was a quiet defeat. It went public via SPAC merger, with a valuation reportedly in the single-digit billions. Less than one-fifth of the 2019 peak valuation of $47 billion. There were no cheers on the trading floor. Traders went about their business matter-of-factly. One investment analyst wrote a report. WeWork goes public as a shared office company. The technology company illusion is over. Masayoshi Son was in Tokyo. He stared out the window. SoftBank Group's cumulative losses reached approximately $14 billion, about 2 trillion yen. November 2023. WeWork filed for bankruptcy. The 13-year story reached a major turning point. The dream that began in 2010 on Grand Street in Soho. It reached a $47 billion valuation. But now, it became a company under Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. In bankruptcy filings, assets and liabilities were shown in ranges, and SoftBank's losses include accounting impairments, so figures should be handled carefully based on disclosure documents. The company once called a social network for physical space. It was, in essence, a model that leased real estate long-term and subleased it in smaller chunks on short-term member contracts, carrying structural risks of heavy fixed costs during economic downturns. The disconnect between charisma and reality. That was the essence of this story. But the story didn't end in instant extinction. June 2024. WeWork emerged from Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection after closing unprofitable locations. WeWork compressed debt and executed reorganization after streamlining locations. Currently, real estate software company Yardi Systems is the controlling shareholder, with WeWork continuing operations in a reduced form. Ironically, Adam Neumann himself proposed buying back WeWork through his new company Flow. But that didn't come to pass. In a transformed state, WeWork survived. But it was no longer Neumann's dream. So what can we learn from this story? First, charisma is not strategy. Neumann's vision was compelling, but vision alone cannot sustain a company. Second, growth is a means, not an end. WeWork continued expanding while posting massive losses. But unsustainable growth will eventually collapse. Third, corporate governance is a lifeline. When absolute power concentrates in one founder, checks and balances disappear, and the company spirals out of control. Fourth, the market ultimately sees through to the truth. The $47 billion valuation was an illusion. The IPO prospectus revealed that truth. Fifth, Chapter 11 isn't liquidation. It's an opportunity for rebuilding. WeWork failed, but survived in a transformed state. Learning from failure and rebuilding. That, too, is part of a company's story. Today, WeWork is widely featured in business case materials as an example of failed corporate governance and growth strategy. It's a textbook of failure. Finally, I want to ask you, every entrepreneur dreams. But where should the line between dream and reality be drawn? If you achieved a $47 billion valuation, would you recognize it as an illusion? Could you distinguish between charisma and true capability? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for joining me on this journey. On this channel, we explore the strategies and lessons that we, living in the modern era, can learn from the stories of history's giants and companies. Not just from success, but from failure, we gain the deepest wisdom. If you found this video valuable, please subscribe and like. Next time, I'll bring you another story that could change your life. Until next time.